Welcome to the Early Learning Coalition of Northwest Florida. Shh, take it easy. We would ask that you turn your cell phones off. Stop texting for a moment. There's a couple things we'd like to speak to you about. Lynn?
We are glad you're here today. We really do love being with you. We love being able to talk to you individually, but often we're not able to get to you. And so we thought that perhaps we'd try something different. And while you're in the waiting room and not having a lot to do, we thought, why not talk to you about some of the things that we know are so important to you as parents, and that is that you have a quality early learning environment for your child, that you're able to go to work, and what it means when we ask you to complete certain paperwork. So Joe, would you talk to them for just a few minutes about why we have to ask for certain documents to determine whether or not they're eligible for school readiness funding?
Thanks, Lynn. In order to process your services for school readiness services, we have to make sure we have all the appropriate documentation. I know sometimes it may seem like we're asking for the same documentation over and over again, but trust me, we're only doing that to expedite the services that we provide for you. Now, we would also ask for your patience, and also we would ask that just calm down for them. Take a deep breath and understand that we're in this together.
Yes,
we're partners
really
with
true.
you, okay? As you come up to the desk and you speak to the customer service liaison, and the question is asked for certain documentation or paperwork, if you could provide this documentation, it would expedite your services.
Yes, it will. Much faster.
And if you have questions or concerns, please feel free to ask to speak to a supervisor or contact me personally. Thank you.
And Joe, I hope as parents you understand that the way we pay for school readiness or for the ability for your child to go to an early learning environment so you can work, it's really through taxpayers' dollars. So because it's your taxes and other people's taxes who work so hard, we have to be very accountable. And so yes, we do have to be very specific about the documentation we need. We are not trying to make it hard for you. What we're trying to do is to protect you and to protect this funding so that it will be available for the next person who needs it. Now, Joe, we're also going to be talking with them not just about school readiness funding, but about some of the goals they might have as going back to school or some things they'd like to do with their family.
You're absolutely right, Lynn. Also, before we forget that we do have a special benefit for you while you're in the lobby or waiting room. We have what's called a child room, where we have a staff member who will watch your child as you go through the process. So in other words, you can focus your attention on what you need to do, and hopefully this will expedite the process as well. Now,
Joe, could I tell them, if you're more comfortable going in the child room with your child and completing the paperwork, that is perfectly fine too. You will see that the child room is a very safe, very friendly, and very enriched environment so that your child doesn't have to be on a floor that you don't know whether it's clean or not, and also that your child can be engaged with learning tools. There is a specialist in there who will help you if you'd like to know, well, what does this particular toy teach this child? That specialist can help you. It's amazing that it's some of the simplest toys that will help your child learn. So if you're more comfortable doing that, Joe, than staying out front,
absolutely,
it's perfectly fine, isn't it?
Absolutely. Yeah. Now, some of the things, I've had parents come into my office and say, why are they asking me all these questions? They want to know. One of the things we do here at the Early Learning Coalition of Northwest Florida is we go above and beyond. We're not in the business of just paperwork and for paperwork. We're looking at how we can assist you towards self-sufficiency, as well as move your child into a rich learning environment. So it's a holistic approach to the family, which is our main focus at the Early Learning Coalition of Northwest Florida, is the family. Now, you come in and they may ask you certain things. Well, are you having problems with your rent? Are you having problems? Are you in a safe, secure neighborhood? These are things we ask so we can then work with you possibly to formulate a plan, a goals, a strategy that may get you closer to that point of self-sufficiency. Wouldn't you say something?
You know, Joe, an interesting thing that I'd like to share with you that was just a shock to us is that one day we had a mom come in, and she was very attentive, and you could tell very concerned about her child. But Joe, when we began to ask her questions like, well, do you feel safe in the environment that you're living in? I think we maybe just kind of got into filling out the paperwork. But she paused. And when she paused and said, no, I don't feel safe. I never let my child go out. I'm afraid. And Joe, I think right then and there, we really shifted gears and began to try to get her in a place where she could feel like she could walk outside with her child. So sometimes it seems like you're having to wait, but the reason is that there might be a family that we really need to take some extra intervention is. And we don't believe that we are helping you. We believe we're a support and a network for you, that we're partners in this, because the truth is your children and our children will go to school together.
Absolutely.
And
Absolutely.
So we care about how your child does because they're going to be with our children and our children will be with yours. So we're very grateful that you've given us this time to be in partnership with you. Now, Joe, as they move throughout this day with us, they're eligible, they're going to get school readiness services.
Right.
Do they actually get to choose the early childhood provider or the child care center that they'd like to take their child to, or do we tell them?
No, definitely, absolutely. It is parents' choice. You will make the selection for the program you'd like to place your child in. Now, we'll give you some tools to make that selection, more appropriate for you, and those tools will tell you some things, certain keys to look for as you go to a child care center. That's called a child care resource and referral process. At no time will anyone in this organization tell you where you need to take your child.
Joe, I'd just like to say, I hope you won't just listen to other people tell you about a program without you checking into it. Remember, often your child will spend 7 to 10 hours in that program. If you walk through the door, and I really hope you'll go check it out for yourself, but if you walk through the door and Joe, the first thing they hear is, sit down. I said, sit down.
Absolutely.
Then you know that you probably want to rethink about being there, because an early learning environment that supports your child's individual growth will be one that as you walk through the door, you get a good feel for. So while we won't tell you where you should take your child, we believe that's your decision as the parent. You're your child's first teacher, and you're absolutely the most important teacher your child will ever have. Please don't minimize that position. Don't let anybody tell you where to take your child, but you make that decision for you and your child. For more information, or if you'd like to ask questions, call us or visit our webpage, Early Learning Coalition of Northwest Florida. Find us on Facebook. We are happy to work with you to support your child and you as your child's first teacher.